Cost of living is the cost of maintaining a certain standard of living. Changes in the cost of living over time are often operationalized in a cost of living index. Cost of living calculations are also used to compare the cost of maintaining a certain standard of living in different geographic areas. Differences in cost of living between locations can also be measured in terms of purchasing power parity rates. Cost of living adjustment, employment contracts, pension benefits, and government entitlements such as Social Security can be tied to a cost of living index, typically to the Consumer Price Index. A COLA adjusts salaries based on changes in a cost of living index. Salaries are typically adjusted annually. They may also be tied to a cost of living index that varies by geographic location if the employee moves. In this later case, the expatriate employee will likely see only the discretionary income part of the salary indexed by a differential CPI between the new and old employment locations, leaving the non-discretionary part of the salary unmodified. Annual escalation clauses in employment contracts can specify retroactive or future percentage increases in worker pay which are not tied to any index. These negotiated increases in pay are colloquially referred to as cost of living adjustments or cost of living increases because of the similarity to increases tied to externally determined indexes. Cost of living allowance is equal to the nominal interest minus the real interest rate, CPI. When cost of living adjustments, negotiated wage settlements and budgetary increases exceed CPI, media reports frequently compare the two without consideration of the pertinent tax code. However, CPI is based on the retail pricing of a basket of goods and services. Most purchases of that same basket require the use of after-tax dollars that were often subject to the highest marginal tax rate. Consequently, the COLA will necessarily have to exceed the CPI inflation rate to maintain purchasing power. The widely recognized problem known as bracket creep can also occur in countries where the marginal tax brackets themselves are not indexed. COLA increases simply place more dollars into higher tax rate brackets. Some salaries and pensions in the United States with a COLA include Social Security, Civil Service Retirement System, Federal Employees Retirement System. Pensions in Canada with a COLA include Canadian Auto Workers Union Local 200. Worldwide Cost of Living Survey. The Economist Intelligence Unit produces a semi-annual worldwide cost of living survey that compares more than 400 individual prices across 160 products and services. They include food, drink, clothing, household supplies and personal care items, home rents, transport, utility bills, private schools, domestic help and recreational costs. The survey itself is an internet tool designed to calculate cost of living allowances and build compensation packages for expatriates and business travelers. The survey incorporates easy-to-understand comparative cost of living indices between cities. The survey allows city-to-city comparisons, but for the purpose of this report, all cities are compared to a base city of New York City, which has an index set at 100. The survey has been carried out for more than 30 years. The most recent survey was published in March 2015. Singapore remains the most expensive city in the world for the second year running, in a rare occurrence where the entire top 5 most expensive cities were unchanged. Sydney and Melbourne have both cemented the positions as top 10 staples, with Sydney becoming the 5th most expensive, and Melbourne becoming the 6th. Asia is home to more than 5 most expensive cities in the top 20, but also home to 8 cheapest cities of the cheapest 10. Other uses, stipends or extra pay provided to employees who are being temporarily relocated may also be called cost of living adjustments or cost of living allowances. Such adjustments are intended to offset changes in welfare due to geographic differences in the cost of living. Such adjustments might more accurately be described as a per diem allowance tied to a specific item, as with housing allowances. Employees who are being permanently relocated are less likely to receive such allowances, but may receive a base salary adjustment to reflect local market conditions. A cost of living allowance is frequently given to members of the U.S. military stationed at overseas bases if the area to which a service member is assigned has a higher cost of living than the average area in the United States. For example, service members stationed in Japan receive a cost of living allowance of between $300 and $700 per month, in addition to the base pay. This additional pay is non-taxable.